Chapter 7 Journey Ahead. The practice you have opened here is not a final destination but a doorway. Zen, for the layperson, is not a certificate of enlightenment handed over at the end of a long retreat. It is a way of living that gradually reveals itself in the ordinary moments of daily life. The chapters that came before laid foundations, posture, breath, awareness, and the habit of returning. Chapter 7 turns toward momentum. It offers concrete steps you can take, day by day, to deepen your practice without turning life into a ritual theater. If you read this book as a compact map, consider this chapter the compass that helps you navigate moving terrain. The weather may change, the path may twist, but you can walk steadily. 7.1 The heart of next steps, practice that fits your life. Zen is not a special project for a few saintly people. It is a set of practices that invites you to bring your whole life into awakening. The word Zen itself implies meditation, but the larger fruit is perceptiveness, noticing what is here, with fairness and gentleness, rather than glazing over or reacting out of habit. For a layperson, the key is sustainability. You do not become a monk by booking a long retreat. You become more awake by practicing where you stand, with what you already have: a kettle on the stove, a commute, a phone buzzing with messages, a crowded bus, a child's questions, a work deadline, a quiet moment before sleep. In these pages you will find a practical framework. It is not dogma, it is a toolkit. You will be encouraged to set routines that honor real life. You will be reminded that effort matters, but so does tenderness toward yourself. The aim is not to force a mood of always serene, but to cultivate a steady presence that does not collapse when difficulty rises. The next steps are about translating insight into action, and action into a more lucid way of being. 7.2 A simple daily practice for busy lives. If your days feel crowded, start with a compact, repeatable rhythm. The outline below is deliberately modest, designed to integrate with work, family, and errands. Morning Zazen, 20 minutes. Sit on a cushion or chair with a straight spine, shoulders relaxed, hands in a comfortable position. Let the breath settle into a natural cadence. If you like, you may count breaths: inhale 1, exhale 1, inhale 2, exhale 2, up to 10, then start again. If the mind wanders, simply notice and return to the breath without self-judgment. Quick breath check-in, 2 to 3 minutes, midday. Sit or stand for a moment. Observe the breath and any tension in the body. Let the exhale be a touch longer than the inhale if you can. This is not about achieving a perfect breath, it is about creating a short pause where you regain alignment with the moment. Evening reflection, 5 to 10 minutes. After dinner or before bed, set a timer and practice a few minutes of quiet reflection. You may choose to reflect on 1 or 2 questions. What simple action brought ease to this day? Where did I react? And what might a more spacious response look like next time? If you prefer, write a few lines in a notebook about what you noticed. Gentle kinhin, walking meditation, 5 to 10 minutes, once a day. Walk slowly with awareness of the feet, legs, hips, breath, and surroundings. Let each step be intentional, a bridge between inside and outside. If you lose the rhythm, pause, resume, and take a few breaths before continuing. Mindful moments during daily tasks. Choose one ordinary activity, washing dishes, brushing teeth, commuting, and perform it with full attention for a minute or two. Observe the sensations, texture, temperature, rhythm, without trying to change them. This is not extra practice, it is integration. This skeleton becomes a habit when you adapt it to your life. If 20 minutes in the morning feels impossible, begin with 10 and add 5 if a window opens later. If you cannot do walking meditation every day, do it on 3 days when you can. The beauty of Zen practice for the layperson is precisely this adaptability. You do not have to disappear into a monastery to do the work. 7.3 The three fields: body, breath, mind. A practical way to think about practice, especially for beginners, is to attend to three axes: body, breath, and mind, and to treat each as a field to cultivate. The body, posture is more than form, it is contact with the present moment. Sit with your spine lengthened and relaxed, shoulders soft, jaw unclenched. If pain arises, shift position gradually without collapsing into stiffness or slouch. The goal is not perfect alignment, but sustainable presence. Allow the body to settle into its natural posture, and let muscular effort be the minimum required to stay upright and alert. The breath is not a problem to fix, it is a signal from the nervous system. You may follow a simple rhythm: sit, observe the natural breath, and occasionally let the exhale be slightly longer than the inhale. If you prefer, you can count breaths as a gentle anchor, but do not turn counting into a race. When thoughts pull you away, simply return to the breath without blame. Mindfulness is not a technique to conquer the mind, it is a way of noticing what is happening without suppressing or exaggerating it. When thoughts arise, label them lightly: thinking, planning, worrying, and let them pass. The aim is not to eliminate thoughts but to reduce reactivity, so you respond rather than react. The mind's monkey chatter is less a foe and more a signal of life's richness. You learn to ride the current without drowning. Over time, these three fields interpenetrate. A better posture can lead to a steadier breath, which in turn supports a clearer mind. A calmer mind invites kinder actions in the body and in speech. The goal is not to chase a state but to cultivate a continual, accessible practice that tucks itself into ordinary living. 7.4 Troubleshooting common obstacles. Zen practice in daily life encounters a spectrum of obstacles, from the trivial to the stubborn. Here are common ones and practical responses. Sleepiness during meditation. The mind and body may resist quiet. Try changing posture slightly, drinking a glass of water, or practicing shorter sessions with a higher frequency. Also ensure you sleep enough at night. Fatigue will fade as routines stabilize. Restlessness and a busy mind. Rather than fighting distraction, meet it with gentle curiosity. Name what appears: thinking, planning, memory, and return to the breath or to the present task. Consider shortening sessions to 8 to 12 minutes and increasing gradually as concentration strengthens. Physical pain or discomfort. Practice with compassion for the body. Find a posture that minimizes pain without becoming rigid. If a particular stance is too painful, switch to chair zazen or a different seated position. If pain persists, consult a medical professional. Zen practice should not cause harm. Plateaus and doubt. It's common to feel as if nothing changes. Treat this as part of the process, not a failure. Increase consistency rather than intensity. The cumulative effect of daily practice often manifests subtly: less automatic reactivity, more choice in response. Consider a short retreat or a guided session with a teacher or a trusted guide to refresh perspective. Social skepticism or internal resistance. It's natural to feel defensive or silly about a practice that looks different from others' routines. Acknowledge the feeling without feeding it. Practice with a small degree of lightness. You are experimenting, not performing. The layperson's path is often built on sincere curiosity rather than zeal. External obligations, family, work, and other commitments aren't enemies of Zen. They are the arena in which Zen is tested and refined. Involve others by communicating simply what you are doing and why it helps you and them. If a schedule is crowded, protect a fixed window, e.g., early morning, and treat the rest as ongoing practice rather than perfection. Remember, obstacles are not signs of failure, they are data. Listen to what they tell you about your situation, adjust, and keep returning to the basics. 7.5 Modalities of Practice, Zazen, Koan, and the Layperson's Path. Zen offers several modalities, and you do not need to master them all at once. The layperson can benefit most from starting with Zazen, silent sitting, and integrating mindfulness into daily life. If later you encounter a teacher or a sangha that introduces koan study, you may explore it as a deeper doorway, but it is not a prerequisite for getting Zen. Zazen, silent meditation. This is the core practice in which you learn to be with yourself as you are, without embellishment or denial. The emphasis is on posture, breath, and staying with the present moment. The aim is not to achieve a particular insight but to cultivate a space in which insight can arise naturally. Shikantosa, just sitting. A variant of Zazen practice in some Zen traditions, Shikantosa invites you to sit with open awareness, without deliberate focus on breath or thoughts. It is a path of trust. You do not need to chase a goal to be complete in each moment. Koan study, optional, for those who encounter it. Koans are paradoxical questions or statements that press the practitioner beyond ordinary logic. They are often used in specific lineages under the guidance of a teacher. For the layperson, koan practice can be illuminating when introduced gradually, not as a hurdle to jump over but as a way to catalyze a shift in perception. Mindful action in daily life, Achi no Zen. The most practical Zen, for many lay practitioners, is the capacity to bring awareness to the ordinary moments that fill a day: cooking, cleaning, driving, listening, reacting. This is where Zen becomes a living habit, not simply a morning ritual but a continuous engagement with reality. If you choose to explore koans or other advanced forms later, you will know it is appropriate when your daily life feels less like a performance and more like a steady, compassionate exploration of reality. Until then, the simple, reliable practice of Zazen, breath awareness, and mindful action will suffice. 7.6 Tools, Environment, and Small Aids. The right tools can support consistency without becoming a distraction. Here are simple aids that help many lay practitioners. Cushion or chair. A stable seating arrangement makes a big difference. A cushion with a modest height, or a firm chair with a straight back, supports a comfortable, alert posture. Timer and bell. A quiet timer helps you stay with a session without watching the clock. A bell or chime signals the start and end of periods of practice in a gentle, non-intrusive way. Simple journal. A small notebook or a digital note can capture a few lines after each practice: what occurred, what the body felt like, any insights or questions. This preserves momentum and makes patterns visible over weeks. Gentle cues in the living space. A small poster or a stone or plant in view can serve as a reminder to pause and breathe. It is not superstition, it is a practical cue to return. Environment that supports pause. Dim lighting, a quiet corner, and a predictable routine help the mind settle. Try to create a consistent space, even if it is a corner of a room or a balcony. Gentle exposure to nature. If possible, spend a few minutes outside on some days. The natural world can be a powerful teacher of presence, rhythm, and impermanence. The aim of tools is to reduce friction, not to replace your own effort. Use what works, discard what doesn't, and keep your practice lean and personal. 7.7 Ethos and Ethics: Humility, Kindness, and Non-Harm. Zen is not a set of rules to police others, it is a discipline that invites integrity in thought, speech, and action. For the lay practitioner, 3 guiding habits can shape everyday life. Humility, Shoshin, beginner's mind. Approach each moment as if you are meeting it for the first time. Let go of assumptions about what you know. This openness keeps your heart teachable and your senses alert. Kindness and non-harm. Treat yourself and others with gentleness. The practice is not a way to ascend above people but to be present with them without judgment, especially when you disagree or feel activated. Truthful speech and honest listening. Speak with clarity when needed, listen with patience when others speak. The practice includes the discipline not to embellish, exaggerate, or escape from reality through rhetoric or avoidance. These ethical precepts are not burdens but scaffolding. They support your practice by reducing inner and outer friction, enabling a clearer space for awareness to arise. 7.8 Building a life that supports Zen. Zen for the layperson flourishes when life itself becomes the training ground. This means creating conditions that reduce unnecessary drama and increase opportunities for clarity. Digital mindfulness. Be mindful of how you use screens. Set intentional times for checking email or social media rather than letting notifications dictate your day. Use screens as tools, not as constant companions. Sleep and rhythm. A regular sleep-wake cycle stabilizes the nervous system, making your practice easier and more reliable. If you have shift work or irregular hours, anchor practice to the times that are most stable each day, and be kind to yourself on rough days. Food and energy. Slow, deliberate meals practice with attention can be a form of mindfulness. Mindful eating helps regulate the body's energy and fosters appreciation for the ordinary act of nourishment. Relationships as practice fuels. Family, colleagues, friends, and even strangers offer opportunities to practice restraint, listening, and kindness. In each encounter, you have the choice to respond from habit or from presence. Work as a form of service. Zen can color your professional life with patience, clarity, and ethical focus. You may not transform every situation, but you can engage with it more fully and bring a calmer energy into the room. Nature and quiet. Time in nature recharges attention and reduces mental clutter. A short walk in a park, a moment watching clouds, or listening to birds can recalibrate the nervous system and refresh your practice. The point is not to abandon life's responsibilities but to bring Zen to bear on them with practical, compassionate action. 7.9 Community, guidance, and the role of a teacher. Zen is deeply relational. A teacher or a small sangha, a community of practitioners, can offer encouragement, corrections, and perspective that you cannot supply on your own. If you are curious about deeper instruction, you might explore a local meditation group or temple. Many communities offer weekly sittings, introductory workshops, or study groups that welcome newcomers with warmth and clarity. A teacher or guide. A person with experience can provide feedback on posture, breath, and mind, and help you navigate challenges that arise when practice becomes difficult. A buddy or accountability partner. Practicing with a friend or partner who shares your enthusiasm can keep you steady during plateaus and sustain motivation during busy periods. If you choose to seek guidance, approach it with clear intentions. You seek support to deepen your understanding, not to fulfill expectation or gain status. A good teacher respects your pace and helps you cultivate discernment rather than dependency. 7.10 The long view, growth that endures. Zen is a long game. The quick breakthrough stories you might hear are often dramatized. In most cases, meaningful transformation happens gradually, over weeks, months, and years. A few reflections on the long view. Small, consistent practice compounds. 10 or 15 minutes daily adds up in ways that larger, sporadic efforts cannot match. Insight often emerges indirectly. A moment of quiet may not arrive with a thunderclap. It may reveal itself as steadiness in the face of a difficult conversation, or an increasing ability to pause before reacting. The practice matures with time, not with force. It's not about achieving a peak experience but about sustaining a gentle, honest relationship with reality as it is. Life's changes are itself a teacher. Aging, changes in work, relocation, or new family roles create opportunities to bring the core practice into new contexts. The lay path is not a rejection of modern life. It is the art of living more fully within it, seeing through the noise, touching what matters, and returning to presence again and again. 7.11 A practical plan for the next 30 days. To help you translate these ideas into habit, here is a concrete, gentle 30-day plan. Adjust as needed to fit your actual life. Week 1. Establish the baseline. Morning session of 10 to 15 minutes daily, with the breath as anchor. 1 minute of mindful breathing at lunch or a mid-afternoon break. Evening reflection for 5 minutes, journaling one line about a single insight. 1 brief Kinhin session, 3 to 5 minutes, each day, either indoors or outdoors. Week 2. Build consistency. Increase morning zazen to 15 to 20 minutes. Add a second short mindful moment during a routine task, e.g., after brushing teeth, before a meal. Experiment with a short, 5-minute body scan before sleep to ease into rest. Continue journaling. Note any patterns in distraction, peace, or fatigue. Week 3. Deepen awareness. Maintain 20 minutes of Zazen. Explore shikantoza, or stillness without cognitive labeling if it feels natural. Introduce mindful listening. In 2 conversations per day, pause to listen fully before replying. Add a weekly 15-minute longer walk meditation outside if possible. Consider a brief, guided meditation audio once or twice this week. Week 4. Integrate and reflect. Choose a daily activity, e.g., cooking, and perform it with full presence for 5 to 10 minutes. Revisit the journal. Note shifts in reactivity, patience, or clarity. If you have access to a sangha or teacher, attend a session this week or reach out for feedback on your practice. Create a simple, sustainable plan for the next month, built from what worked best in weeks 1 to 3. What to expect after 30 days? Not a finish line, but a new baseline. You may notice that you react less automatically, that meals taste richer, that conversations feel more grounded. You may also feel the pull of old habits. That's fine. The practice is not to vanish all patterns but to develop the capacity to notice them and choose differently in real time. Closing thoughts. The path laid out in this chapter is designed to be compassionate and practical. Zen is not a grand theory to memorize, it is a lived habit that invites you to pause, see clearly, and act with kindness. To the lay practitioner, the goal is not constant bliss or flawless serenity, but a steady presence that can be trusted to return home to breath, to body, to moment, to others, and to self. If one sentence could summarize the next steps in Zen for laypeople, it would be this: practice with regularity, return with gentleness, and let life itself be your teacher. Your family, your work, your struggles, and even your failures will reveal themselves as part of the practice if you show up with curiosity and care. Finally, remember, the path is yours to shape. The door you opened at the beginning of this book remains ajar. Each day you choose to step through, it offers a new view of the same ground, quiet, ordinary, and awake. Chapter 7 does not seal the journey, it invites you to continue, one breath, one moment, one action at a time. The Zen Guide for Laymen is not a finish line but a faithful companion. Step forward with a twofold aim: to awaken yourself, and to awaken the world around you through the quiet, steadfast radiance of being present.